listening to the Marketer DNA podcast, your internet marketing for business advice. Here is your host, Willie DeJarnette.
Hello guys, Willie DeJarnette, and I would like to say welcome to Marketing DNA podcast, guys. Guys, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Willie DeJarnette, and I live in South Mississippi, and this is my first episode. And I just want to let you know a little bit about me. I am an internet marketer, and what I do is I choose different niches that I try to market, and I monetize them with them. And then I also try to help people that do not know a little bit about marketing and help them in that way, and using tools that can help you market your business as far as email, video, and things of that nature. Well, I decided I wanted to start a podcast, guys. And tonight is my first one. This is episode 1. And a little more information about myself. And this is my first one, so I might be a little bit nervous. You know, in April, I'll have 31 years in the National Guard. And when April 13th hits, I'll have 2 more years before I retire. So I'm trying to implement and take my internet marketing business and step it up a game. And that's the reason why I'm starting to implement tools that will to gain, authority, so I can be an authority figure. And hopefully people who are listening to this podcast, they can do the same and follow me in the same route. And the reason why I started this 2 years out, so whoever's listening to the podcast, we can grow together. Now, this is March the 15th, 2020 on a Sunday night. I will do my very best to have a podcast recorded each week. So guys, just stay tuned. We're in it for the long haul. Tonight, I just want to go through some scenarios, and I'm going to talk about 5 points, the reason why you should listen to podcasts. Okay, guys, I'm just going to be real with you. I get up around 5:30, sometimes 6 o'clock, and I'm out of the door at 6:30, and it's 7 o'clock before I get back. So when it comes to trying to market a business online, your day is gone. So by the time you get here and get settled, it's 7 o'clock. 3 hours later, it's time to go lay down, along with military things that you have to do. You got to stay in shape. So you got to squeeze that in doing out the day. So a couple of years ago, probably about a year ago, I just started to listen to podcasts. And when I started to listen to podcasts, like on my walk, when I do my PT, I was able to listen to podcasts. So when it comes to marketing my business online, it was helping me out with the constraints of time, because that's another thing. When you're marketing a business online, you have to be educated, and to have good education, let me say that correctly, and quality education, you have to choose the right people to subscribe to on your podcast. And, at the end of this podcast that we have here, I will give you a list of the people that I use that are honest marketers, that if you want to subscribe to them, you're more than welcome. And that will happen at the end of this training. Okay. If I said video, I'll do YouTube too. So I'm sorry. I'm just got to get used to it. All right. The first thing that I want to talk about on these 5, the reason why I podcast, listening to podcasts. Number 1 is multitasking. I'm telling you, when you're able to get in your truck in the morning, or go to Walmart or go to some areas that you need to ride with, and you're able to Bluetooth a podcast of some things that you're working on to better yourself in the business, guys, that is the easiest way to get going, guys. You would love to do that. That's why I listen to podcasts. It is the best way I know to optimize your time, guys. So that's the reason why I listen to podcasts. And that's the reason why I decided to make my own. So that is reason number one: multitasking and optimizing your time. Okay. My next, number two, we're going to talk about, you can learn on the particular subject matter that you're interested in. You know, say if you are a blogger and you want to learn how to blog, you want to learn how to do all the things to set up your blog, you can find a podcast on blogging. So by the time you get home at night, and if you're working a 9 to 5, you'll have your knowledge is there. And you have your knowledge there. And I'm going to tell you guys, and I don't know this right off the bat, but for some of the podcasts that I am subscribed to, I truly believe these people are honest. Reason being, because each time you get a course or you activate in that course, guys, you have to do testing for yourself. So I truly believe the people who go out and do podcasts, to spend that energy and that time to create an audio, video, and upload it, guys, it takes a special person to do that. So that's why I like podcasts. You have to get the proper information within your niche, whatever niche you want to use, and you have to learn it, guys. This is the way to brand yourself, guys. If you want people to follow you, you need to brand yourself, and you can educate yourself through podcasts. Because like I said, back to the number one reason when we started out, it's time constraint, guys. It will get you, you can listen to it anytime. If you got your earbuds, you can pop them in. You know, they got cordless, guys. So you can hear it. You go to the gym, you can pop in the podcast while you're working out, or you're on the treadmill, or you're on the elliptical, you know. So it's time constraint, guys. So that's a good thing. Now, let's go to the third one, guys. And for my first podcast, I won't hold this event no long time, because I want you to gather this knowledge and just jot it down. The next thing is personal and professional growth. Let me tell you something, guys. If you're looking to have an online business or a online success or a online presence, you better know what you're talking about. Because I'm going to tell you something. You know, they say 98% of the people that try a business online fail. That's a lot. But let me tell you something. You who's listening to this and myself, we want to be in that 2%. And that 2% is, you always want to find you a subject matter, whatever in your niche or whatever medium that you're planning on marketing your business in, and emulate that person as the expert and make yourself the expert. Reason why you want to do that is because you want the people to chase after you. You don't want to be the one that's chasing after them. When you are the expert, or you have self-growth in your field, they will find you. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're out there now and you listen to this podcast and you putting out junk, let me rephrase that right. They will eventually know. They will eventually know. So guys, that's why you want to educate yourself, and you want to have personal growth within your niche or within your business, guys. So that's why podcasting has been great far as getting some understanding. You know, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and what it is, sometimes I go to episodes and I re-listen to episodes over and over again. And you know what? Come to find out, it's one point I always miss. And it could be that one point that is crucial to your business. That's why I listen to podcasts, guys. You have a podcast going on, just a little bit of it every day, guys, just to implement in your business. So that's how we do it. And you will grow professionally, And let's go to number 4. And it probably seems like I'm just repeating myself. And I'm just going to say, stay educated and informed. Guys, one thing about subscribing to a podcast, those guys who are full-time marketers, I'm talking about ready, everyday marketers, everyday marketers. Let me tell you what those guys do. They make sure that they're getting the most updated information. So when Google makes a change, or that's natural search, or Pinterest make a change, or YouTube make a change, or Facebook make a change, those guys that I am subscribed to on a podcast, hey, they gonna let you know what's going on. They gonna let you know what the updates are. So you want to stay educated, guys. You want to stay educated because, man, I'm just gonna tell you, there is a lot of junk that is out there. There is a lot of courses out there that are not true people behind the course. They're just to get your money. So that's another reason why I started the podcast, because I finally got rid of some people within what I'm doing that are really honest people that are really doing it. So I'm trying to educate myself and educate people who come and follow me along. Okay. Now, the last one is, man, you can listen to your podcast anywhere, guys. That's the benefit of it. You can get some of those wireless earbuds, or you don't have to get the expensive ones. You can go to Amazon and get you some earbuds, and you can just pop them things in. Or in my truck, I just Bluetooth it. I have it Bluetoothed, and I have the Bluetooth on. And just like today, I went to Lowe's to get some things because when I get off tomorrow, I got to work in the yard. I still have those things that I need to do. But I went ahead and got my stuff today. And as I rode to Lowe's, it wasn't about a 10-minute drive, just because it's within the city and everything. You know what? I put on a podcast, guys. I put on a podcast where I can ride around and listen. And even though it was probably 5 to 6 minutes of listening, there were nuggets in there that I needed. There were nuggets that I was missing in my business, guys. That's what a podcast can do for you guys. So I'm just telling you guys, podcast has been great for me, and it can be great for you guys. And you just got to hang in and stick it out and find one that's for you. Hopefully you subscribe to my podcast, because we're going to be rocking and rolling 2 years out, guys. 2 years out before I retire. And I want to have everything in place while I'm a full-time marketer. So now, since you guys have waited to the end of this podcast, I'm trying to keep it short. I'm going to tell you my 4 podcasts that I listen to most consistently. And let's just start it out, because I'm a blogger too. I'm consider myself a blogger too. Not the best blogger, but I'm getting there. I listen to a guy named Brandon Gailey, and the title of his podcast is The Blogger Millionaire, The Blogging Millionaire. And you can look that up. Write that down. The Blogging Millionaire. A good Christian man. I'm telling you, he hosts a good blog. And I'm going to tell you why I like him. The things that he has shown me, I have implemented them. And he teaches exactly what you're going to get. That's what lets you know these guys are true. If you take what these guys are teaching you and you implement it in the work, that means they're telling you the truth, guys. So that was number 1. Now, number 2 is the Simple Pen podcast by Kate Ahl. And you spell her last name Ahl. And, when I travel to Alabama to see my mother. That's a 3-hour drive. Man, can you imagine how much podcasts I can get in? And, I'm a Pinterest guy too. And so much training and so much stuff that I was doing wrong. You know why? Because I was following all these people who wasn't doing it right, and it hurt my Pinterest business. Now I'm starting to grow back, but I let some of my things drop to do it correctly. I want to do it correctly because if you don't do it correctly, you can't show anybody else anything. So you want to do it correctly, and you want to do it by following Pinterest rules. So, and that's what I like about these podcasts. These are full-time marketers, guys. When there is a Pinterest update or there's some rule change, just for instance, here it is March, guys. I didn't even know I had stopped listening to the Pinterest podcast because I'm trying to get a little bit of the 4 social media platforms that I'm really working in. And I didn't even realize until this last episode she had this past week about Pinterest having a trend tool. And it let me know that, hey, certain keywords are more successful at Facebook than it is Pinterest. So you have to research things like that. So when I looked at her trend tool, or Pinterest trend tool, and I found out certain things that I had been targeting in Pinterest was had more traffic in Facebook. So those are the little things little small nuggets that you miss out on, So, man, I would have never known that if they had that trend tool. And that trend tool is not offered in other countries right now, but they're coming. So Pinterest got a trend tool, just like Google have a trend tool. So guys, that's another reason why I listen to podcasts. Okay, my third podcast that I listen to, it is The Next Level Facebook Ad by Phil Graham. Just started listening to Phil Graham a couple weeks ago because I started kind of tinkling a little bit with Facebook. A little bit scared of it in the beginning because if you don't know what you're doing, you could spend a bunch of money in Facebook. But I started dealing with him and I found him on podcasts. And I got a couple of his courses that I just got started on, guys. And I am telling you, just the free course that I got with him starting out, he showed me more than anybody that showed me so far. And don't get me wrong, I may have not given other people chances like I've given him, but I am telling you, he is an excellent guy when it comes to Facebook. And right now, he's good. And I got other people that I do use for other things. I have other people because, Facebook do have a natural search that you can do if you know what you're doing. So that's stuff out there people didn't realize. They have a natural search where you can get traffic to your site from a natural search aspect. And maybe one day we'll get a episode talking about those kind of things. So now let's go to last but not least, so this thing won't drag out too long. And this one I just subscribed to, guys, because I got a course on YouTube. The next one is YouTube Creation Hub. Just write that down, YouTube Creation Hub, guys. You can look that up in your podcast. And the reason why I decided to go with these guys, they're sponsored through TubeBuddy, and I have used that software to help optimize my Facebook page. I've used that several times. And not Facebook, but YouTube, forgive me. YouTube market is a excellent market. And I got some courses on that is really good with some really good marketers. And I'm going to give you a story on my YouTube market. I was in a course with YouTube, and me and this young lady, I can't think of her name right now, and I gave her a shout out on a YouTube channel the other day. Matter of fact, last week. And when we first started out, we started out together. I had about 400 or 500 subscribers. I got it up to over 1,000 subscribers where my channel can be monetized. We kind of started out together. But I kind of got so focused on Pinterest to where I kind of let that course slip to the side. Bear in mind, I am a full-time federal employee that's in the National Guard, So I kind of let that slide. Well, I looked at her channel the other day, guys. Man, she got 7,000 subscribers. And we started out the same. I still have the same course that she's going by, guys. Can you believe that? The same course, guys. So I'm telling you, there is some power in social media. And you guys, if you're listening to that, you know. But the thing about it, I hadn't found a Twitter guy. I got a Twitter guy, but I hadn't found a podcast in that. That's the next thing. And you probably say, well, that's a lot of different items to mess with, and you one man. Well, one thing I can say about it, no, I probably won't be an expert in all of those fields because that's a lot to have to conquer. But the reason why I'm just touching a little bit of each of them, because you got different people in different let me say this correctly. You have different people in all of those audience, and you want to try to kind of get a little bit of those people within that audience, guys. So that's why I'm dabbling with all of them and getting a little bit of it as I go. And then when I get ready to retire, I'll have time to focus a little bit more. And as I started to grow and put the type of money in my pocket like I need, and then you can start outsourcing those tasks. But I'm gonna tell you, when you outsource things, you better make sure you at least know what you're doing, or these people could be doing things that you're not aware of. So that's the reason why I'm learning just a little bit of everything, guys. And eventually Twitter will come in. I do have a Twitter account along with all my niches, but I hadn't jumped into it. And I do have training on there too. And I didn't include that as a fifth one today. But I'm just trying to tell you, like I started out this podcast in the beginning, this is why I podcast, guys. My number one reason is, man, it's time consuming. I mean, it takes away from my time when I have to come in and go through some training. Well, I've already listened to it on the podcast. So it helps me far as time. And let me say it correctly. This is my first one, guys. First one. It maximizes my time. And I want you to do the same thing when it comes to, if you're a person that's still working a 9 to 5 and you're trying to get to your goal where you don't have to work for the man anymore, you can get it done through podcasting, guys. All right, guys. The first one, like Phil Graham says, the first one is in the books, guys. I hope this podcast has been good to you. Hopefully, we'll see you guys next week. Take care. And my listeners, be blessed.
You have been listening to the Marketer DNA podcast, your internet marketing for business advice. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I hope to have you here on the next episode.